video. I haven't posted a video on this channel for quite long, maybe about 6 months, but it's been worse before. So yeah, in this video I'll be talking about how I survived poly with 3.96 GPA. Do some editing magic here. Wow. Okay, so anyways, 3 years in NYP, Nanyang Polytechnic Information Technology. I graduated with a diploma in merit, so that is like I think top 15 or top 10%, not too sure, but yeah. And I did 3 years and maybe like 6 times 4, at least 30 modules. I don't know how many modules, but I have a list of the important modules here. The goal of this video, oh by the way, I have a script right here because I don't want to go off topic or I might yap too much if I don't follow this script. It's like a point form script, but I sort of accidentally made it into like a full-blown script. But don't worry, I'm not going to be reading completely off this screen, so we'll see if the knowledge I learned from poly actually pays off here, if I can maintain eye contact while doing a sort of presentation here. Okay, anyways, you see what I mean, all the yapping and stuff. Enough with the yapping. So basically, I'll be giving you some like tips and tricks, especially for students who are in poly now, who are studying my course. Maybe you might find it useful, or maybe other courses as well, I'm not too sure. But I just hope that this video will, I don't know, inspire you and help you out in your projects and tests. So yeah, let's get started. I will explain them later on, maybe at the end of the video. Let's get into the main section. So firstly, I'll be talking about academics, how I study. I have a system that I followed throughout the entire polytechnic that really helped me manage my time. Basically, firstly, at the start of each semester, I created a to-do list of every single test and assignment to be submitted throughout the semester. So this really helped me plan my time and keep track of what needed to be completed. And I spent at least like 30 minutes at the start of each semester, so there are like 6 semesters in poly. This saved me the headache of like checking for test dates, assignment submission dates one by one every time I want to do something. So this also helped me to sort of have a mental plan of what I want to do first, or like what I want to save for the last. Basically, this is the first point. And the second point, the other thing I did, I studied in school sometimes and I also studied at home. So both actually worked for me, but I felt more productive at home because I have a monitor setup. Having a dual monitor setup really helps in my productivity, especially I'm doing IT, like coding stuff. We need to use a lot of external tools. Okay, but in school you have free aircon, so weigh your pros and cons, I guess. Pick your poison. So my next tip is to pay your utmost attention in class, no matter how good or bad the lecturer actually is, as there was always something to learn from the physical lesson. Even for lecturers who couldn't really teach, as long as you follow the lecture notes, you listen in class, you ask the right questions, they always almost always had an answer for you. And okay, but and they also certain lecturers like to give hidden tips and tricks in class that are not covered in the notes or instructions. Like there were times where I had some lecturers tell us the exact questions that were gonna come out for the written test, which I don't think is allowed, but yeah. So pay attention in class. Free tips, insider information. So some lecturers, I would say 5% of them actually can't teach. Some of them are actually really terrible. You don't have to put yourself through so much trouble, and sometimes you can just ask the module leader, or if the module leader sucks, you can ask a good lecturer that also teaches that module. They are always happy to answer your queries. There are always ways for you to avoid losing out because of bad lecturers, which kind of it strays away from the point of paying attention in class. But yeah, that's another tip for you. If you have a bad lecturer, just make sure to know the resources that you have. You have AI, you have ChatGPT, you have other lecturers to ask, other lecturers who teach the same module, because usually one module maybe 4 or 5 lecturers teach, so you can ask them. So next is follow the rubric strictly. Don't do extra work for nothing. Okay, so I've seen some people they don't follow the rubrics really. They do more than what is required. So there's like, let's say distinction, you need to do 5 like just a CRUD, create, read, update, delete, for APIs. But they go and do like a whole ass fully functional backend with like 12 APIs or like more than that. I mean, it's quite doable, it's quite easy, but the problem is rubrics did not require that, so you're wasting extra time for nothing. And with the extra time, you could spend it on another module, let's say, to like study for the test or do another assignment. So yeah, just in poly, just do what is enough to get your distinction based on the rubrics and move on, focus on other modules. This is on time management skills already. So some of them who actually put so much effort in this module, they get distinction for it, right? Congrats. But some of their other modules suffer. They might get B's or C's, you know, and that's not worth it in my opinion, because a distinction and an A grade is the same. Both are 4.0. Moving on to the next tip, when did I start my assignments? For individual assignments and projects, I did it usually like 1 week before the deadline, 1 to 2 weeks. 2 weeks if I'm feeling studious, you know, but usually 1 week because I like to procrastinate and I'm kind of lazy. And for group projects, I usually allocate 2 to 3 weeks before the deadline to start brainstorming and discussing it, because we need to like have some buffer time for group meetings, communication with the group, brainstorming sessions, all that stuff lah. Next tip, for written tests, okay, so most of our lectures are e-lectures. If you're in poly now, you probably know. Yeah, so try to watch the lectures at a comfortable pace. For me, most of my lecturers talk pretty slow, so I just put it at like 1.5 to 2 times speed. Yeah, if I'm not very confident in the module or it's like very content heavy, I will start revising like 1 week before the test, or like 1 to 2 weeks. If I'm already pretty okay with the content, 2 to 3 days is enough. So usually each test will have like 5 to 6 weeks worth of content for most tests, but some tests they are crazy. They test 12 weeks of content or like 13 weeks. I had one test like that, so I think it's just that one. It's not too bad, but yeah, most of them are like 6 topics. Each topic is like 20 minute to 1 hour lecture. So if you just do your math, maybe you calculate it. Maybe one day you do 2 lectures. That's like at most 2 hours per day if you watch at like 1x speed. And you do that for 3 days, and that's actually quite enough. Maybe 4 days, the 4th day you test yourself on the knowledge. So there's usually like tutorial questions that you can look through to test your knowledge. And as for practical tests like coding tests, I just like to redo the practicals that I'm weak in. But for those practicals that like you actually follow in class, you pay attention a lot already, you're very confident in it, you actually most of the time don't really need to practice, because you're used to it already. Coding is like once you do it, you know already, you know how to do it. It's like cycling. Paying attention in class is important. Yeah, it's the key. Basically, it's the key to achieve this confidence. But extra practice will help also lah. Like if you have extra time, why not, right? Just redo your practicals. But there are some that are actually damn sian lah, not gonna lie. There was one practical test where I didn't practice and I did badly. So moving on, I'll be talking about social life now, no more academics. So if you came for just for academics, video ends. Bye bye. But yes, social life, making friends. During my time in NYP, I joined a lot of CCAs. Okay, so some of them were clubs, like societies and clubs, and and some of them were sports, like taekwondo, all this kind of stuff lah. So basically, here's a list of the CCAs that I was most active in. It's Students Union, Community Service Club, Life Saving, Taekwondo, and Service Learning Group. So for Students Union, sort of like the friend-making CCA lah, the networking CCA, where you will meet a lot of people. Yeah, you meet a lot of good and bad people. Like some of them say SU is toxic and whatnot. But for me, I personally didn't really experience too much of that. Maybe like a bit only lah, a bit. Some people I don't really like planning events with them and whatnot. But that's life, right? So Students Union is where I met most of my friends, including my very close friends that I still talk to after graduation. We go out quite a lot and do a lot of stuff together. We even went on an overseas trip together, which I'll talk about later on. Basically, you do events planning, or there's also like tons of fun orientation like events. So if you're into like those orientation, not really the makan cheer type, but close enough, close enough. It's like amazing races at Pasir Ris Park, Bishan Park, those kind of things. Camps, outdoor essentials training, life skills training, whatnot. So like they even have public speaking workshops, blah 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 blah. Yeah, there's a lot of these kind of stuff. Side quest. For community service club, that's another CCA that I was quite active in, but I'm not like an official member. I'm just the bystander. So like whenever they plan any events, I just join up. So like food rescue every 2 weeks, like every Saturday or Sunday, I think. I went to a nearby HDB where we distributed like food that was 1 week or about 1 week away from expiry lah, to the residents living around the area. Mostly I think it's like low income residents. So there's that, kind of meaningful. I would do again. Other volunteering stuff like paint the HDB flats of I think seniors or whatever. But I didn't go lah cause I was more involved in other CCAs. Another club that I was in is Service Learning Group, which is like almost like CSC lah. But I didn't really do much under there. But the main thing, or also the highlight of my poly life, was I think because of Service Learning Group, where they offered this program called Youth Expedition program or project, where we actually went to Chiang Mai, Thailand on a 13-day, 12 nights community service trip. Over there we refurbished the school for like about 8 or 9 days, I think. Painting the school, making a new water cooler, refurbishing the medical bay area, that kind of stuff. We also did some cultural exchange programs there. Mayrim High School, I think. So they are around our same age, and we did a cultural exchange with them. We also did the cultural exchange with the primary school that we helped to refurbish. So that was the highlight of my poly life. And also first time traveling without family, just friends and one teacher. But honestly, that one teacher let us like explore ourselves. So it's basically just a friend's holiday. So yeah, the last 5 days or so, 4 or 5 days, we spent in the city, just exploring and shopping. And not bad this YIP $350 only. Food provided, hotel provided, accommodation, whatever lah. All everything provided. Okay, so I did life saving and taekwondo also. And for life saving and taekwondo, I basically life saving, it was like 1 year only because they closed in 2023. So we just did like swimming, life saving, rope, how to like throw ropes, that kind of stuff, life buoys, like lifeguard training lah. But I didn't finish it because the CCA closed down, and also there weren't many people left. As for taekwondo, I did until green tip belt. So I did from 2023 to 2024, life saving 2022 to 2023. Because in taekwondo, 2024 to 2025, that is my intern and final year project. So I felt very, drained, like no energy, because my intern is from like 8:30 to 6. No energy to go training and no time also. Anyways, moving on, I'll be talking about time management, balancing deadlines, part-time jobs, social outings, those kind of stuff. I worked part-time jobs during my 2-month semester break. So I personally try not to work during studying. I don't want like those two to interfere with each other, So I did stuff like sales for Aftershock PC. Basically like I sell laptop and desktop lah for this company. I also did stuff like banquets, F&B stuff, or like Harry Styles concert, a lot of side quests lor. Yeah, and because of this, like I could put my 100% focus in school. Like I'm not tired after work or whatever, like school is school, work is work. Honestly, I think this played a big part in my GPA lah. But I am sure there are some other people who are more cracked. They freaking probably work and do hackathon at the same time. Then they also still manage to clinch like 4.0 GPA. I'm sure there's like one guy. I think the top scorer for one of the computing diplomas. I think that's what he did. Not sure. Any apps or tools I use for time management? I actually just use my notes app. If you use your phone, there's always probably a notes app, right? So I just write down all the assignments that I need to do, then just plan according to my 2 to 3 weeks of group project and 1 week for individual. Okay, so next point is mental health / burnout. So there were days I did nothing but scroll lah, like see TikTok or whatever lah. Honestly, it's like expected lor. You cannot expect yourself to be 100% of the time so on in your school, right? Like I feel like that's kind of unrealistic. Procrastination, this kind of stuff is normal. I'm telling you, it's normal. I also did it a lot. I had to suffer for it sometimes. So because of procrastination, instead of sticking to my 1 week for individual project or 2 to 3 weeks for group project, like I wait until 2-3 days before the submission, or sometimes even worse, like 1 day before the submission, then I started my 30% individual project. So that one really playing with fire already lah. Those kind need to pull up all-nighters. It's not fun lah. It's not fun. Part of the experience, I guess. What's important lah, basically, is that you get back on track. So do what you need to do, get back on track. If you have to pull all-nighters, you pull all-nighters. But don't do it too often because you will really get burnt out. Following your schedule closely will lead to more satisfactory results, and you'll feel happier, you'll feel more alive. You don't feel dead inside, trust me. Just keep telling yourself lah, I pay $3,000 a year to study here and upskill myself, you know. This is for me, this studying is for me, so might as well make the most out of it, right? So how I coped, like I mentioned, I those CCAs that I did, those 5 CCAs, really helped to take my mind off school. And in Taekwondo, like I kicked away all the frustration, kicked away all the burnout, kicked it all away. Then for life saving, I swam it all away. I also did stuff like cycling, which is still my favorite hobby. I cycle a lot. Maybe you can check out my other video, cycling 70 km around Singapore. Maybe I put it like up here or something, I don't know. And I also got into running in the middle of like year 2 for some reason. Looking back, would I do it again? This whole entire experience, honestly, it's hard to say like it's a bittersweet feeling. It's like when you're in there, like you really feel the suffering, you want it to end. But now that I graduated already and everything is done, like you look back and you kind of appreciate it, you know, like all the experiences build your character and whatnot. And okay lah, looking back it was fun, and I think if I had the chance to do it as a fresh mind, yes, I would do it again, but this time with more sleep. So I think that's about the end of the video. If you're heading into poly soon, good luck, you got this. Comment your GPA goals or your poly fears and I'll try to reply to them. Or any questions you have, just put it in the comments. I might be making another video soon about my driving test. So I finally passed my driving test, I got my driving license. And yeah, so stay tuned for that video. I'm gonna be sharing my experiences. So make sure to subscribe and like this video if you found this helpful. All the best. Bye bye.